Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about how to make copy sound simple. I do a lot of branding for a lot of startups, the majority of them tech, and they all tell me that they want to sound simple in their writing and the way that they are explaining the product so that the consumer feels that it is easy to use. There's absolutely no complexity at all in the process, and I also understand that not a lot of people have budget to hire a writer, and sometimes you've got to DIY that shit. So I'm going to tell you how to make yourself sound simple with some basic writing tips and tone of voice advice that will see you right. Before we get started, I'm going to ask you to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I'm helpful and I'm nice and I'm mildly entertaining. Okay, so first up, making copy sound simple. You're going to want to keep your sentences nice and short. When you are an amateur writer, there is a tendency to write sentences that are 4 lines long and run on and very complex. So I'm just going to say, keep each sentence really concise, really simple. Try to only make 1 point per sentence and keep it condensed right the way down. Make sure you're not adding any extra words, using as few words as possible. Being really clever with the words that you are choosing. If you can find one word that does the job of 2, use that one word. You get me? My next point is similar to the first, and that is to keep your paragraphs short. You don't want giant ass blocks of text all over your page, in your email, on your piece of print marketing. When people read copy, they're first looking at the format of the copy before they even start it. If they see a chunk of text, they won't read it. It looks long, it looks hard, it looks difficult, it looks boring. You want to keep all your paragraphs really nice and short, maybe 3 or 4 lines per paragraph, and make sure they're nicely spaced out on the page so that they look pleasing to the eye. Nice short sentences, nice short paragraphs. I'll also throw in a bonus tip, and that is where you can use bullet points. And again, your bullet points, keep them to 1 line, keep them really short, really benefit led and really frigging concise. If you've got a lot of things to say, bullet points are the way to do it. They look nice on the eye, they're quick to read, and double bonus, pop the beginning of your bullet in bold. So the first word or whatever, make sure that's the action word, that's the benefit word, that's the main word. Bold that shit out so even if they don't read the whole bullet point, they catch that piece in bold and they are taking away the main point of that bullet point without having to read the whole thing. Next point, punctuation. If you fill your sentences with punctuation, be they simple things like commas or em dashes, but you've used a fuck ton, you're automatically making your sentence far more difficult to get through because people are acknowledging the punctuation on a subconscious level. They're stopping to pause and reframe the tone and the tempo of the writing in their mind. And sometimes if it's something a little bit sexy like a semicolon, people are like, what's that? And all of a sudden they're looking at the punctuation and not the writing. So if you find yourself adding more than 2 commas per sentence, or you're having to use a comma and an em dash or a comma and a semicolon, and the sentence is starting to look a little bit punctuation heavy, I would recommend splitting that up into 2 different sentences or finding another way to say it so that you don't have to use that much punctuation. It makes everything look a lot more complicated, and it means that the structure of your sentence is probably a little bit heavy. So minimal punctuation, please. So when all of your copy is written, I'm going to recommend that you go back over it and sense check the words that you've chosen to use. For example, the word get is a lot easier than the word receive. The word need is a lot easier than the word require. I think that if you're used to writing in business English and you've got a very formal tone about you, defaulting back to these very formal words is just the way that you write. It's your personal tone, it's your go-to. You're doing it subconsciously, which is why you need to go back and sense check yourself in the editing stage, and just making sure you're switching out those complicated words for really short, really simple words that look pleasing on the eye and communicate the point far easier. My final point is a hell of a point, and that is to rid your copy of any horrible industry jargon. Jargon might be awesome for you in your client meeting when you're pitching B2B. You're talking to people that speak your language. That's perfect. But if you're talking to a consumer or you want your product to sound super simple, that shit ain't disco and there's no place for it. So let me give you a little example. Let's say that you're an organization software app and you've designed something that's similar to Trello or Evernote or whatever, and you're that type of a thing, and you want the consumer to believe it's super easy to use, it will improve your life, and you just start using it and it's intuitive. So if you're in the tech industry, you might be tempted to say something like delivering innovative organizational solutions. Oh my god, I mean, what about that sounds simple to you? Yeah, it sounds sexy and it's got a fuck ton of buzzwords in it, and I'm sure that your managing director thinks it's brilliant. And that is the red flag that tells you that it's not good. I would opt for something a lot more customer friendly that communicates the benefit in plain, simple English. For example, we're a lifestyle organisation app, or organise your entire life with one app. I get it, I get the benefit. I understand that I'm organising my life with an app, because those are real words and that's what they mean. Delivering an innovative solution? That could be anything. So there you have it, those are my quick and simple tips for sounding easy in your copy. Short sentences, short paragraphs, minimal punctuation, do an easy word swap and avoid jargon like the fucking plague. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask me about this, you can drop a comment below and I will answer it for you. Or you can find me on Twitter at EJCownley and I will happily socialise with you on social. Until then, I'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. Take care, have an awesome week.